A social media influencer with 7 million followers drove to the Grand Canyon, pulled out a golf club, and hit a ball into the abyss. On camera, on purpose, to post it online. 3 federal violations. A $285 fine. 7 million people. The $285 fine. That's the cost. Compare that to Lake Mead. A single influencer trash dump at Lake Mead cost the National Park Service $1.2 million to remediate. Same year, same parks, same people ignoring the same signs. The Park Service budget for cleanup last year was $120 million. The content created by destroying that land was worth, to the creators, over $4 billion in views and sponsorships. They made 33 times what it cost to ruin what you paid for. The most expensive ticket you will never get, because the Park Service can't even ticket them fast enough. Last year, rangers wrote fewer than 4,000 violation notices for the entire national park system. That's for 325 million visitors. You do the math. So when you see an influencer standing on a sandstone formation that took 200 million years to form, for a video that pays more than most of us make in a month, remember, the fine is $285. And the cleanup is on your tax bill. Watched. That's the math. And it's happening everywhere, all the time, across every protected landscape in America, while the people responsible for stopping it are disappearing. Let's be clear about what America's national parks actually are. These are not tourist attractions. They are not content backdrops. They are irreplaceable, 200-million-year-old rock formations, ancient ecosystems, landscapes that took geological time to create and that human hands can destroy in an afternoon. And they are being destroyed, systematically, for content. In October 2022, influencer Katie Sigmund, with 7 million TikTok followers, filmed herself hitting a golf ball into the Grand Canyon to make content, using the canyon's ancient walls as a backdrop to entertain her audience and promote her brand. 3 federal violation notices and a $285 fine followed. $285 for desecrating a national monument on camera to millions of followers. That's less than a parking ticket in most American cities. And she is far from alone. At a popular waterfall in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, visitors watched crowds ignore signs reading, "Please do not leave the trail. Danger of falling and being killed," and climb over and around those signs to get closer videos of the falls. At Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, 2 trespassers were caught photobombing a live stream recording an active volcanic eruption. Founders of an eruption tracking media company documented at least 9 separate trespassing incidents over the past year alone, with the risky behavior frequently done for the clicks as content creators chased engagement and viral visibility. At Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan in July 2025, a group of visitors carved large letters into an ancient cliff face and removed over 100 pounds of rocks from the site. Each visitor was fined $500 and banned from the park for 1 year. $500 for physically carving up and hauling away pieces of a protected national landmark. Here's the part that makes the vandalism problem almost unsolvable. The people responsible for stopping this are being gutted. National park law enforcement positions declined by almost half, 48%, between 2010 and 2023, with more than a quarter of that reduction happening just since 2021 / nearly half gone. Since January 2025, the National Park Service has lost 24% of its permanent staff, 4,000 people, a staggering reduction that has left parks across the country scrambling to operate. 90 national parks reported staffing impacts in 2025. Nearly 70 parks reduced visitor center hours or services, 22 parks postponed maintenance, and 11 closed or delayed opening facilities. Parks like Joshua Tree in Yosemite are struggling with search and rescue, law enforcement, and basic medical services, while some parks have no maintenance staff at all. No maintenance staff at all. Some parks are relying on a single ranger to staff an entrance gate all season. Biologists, people hired to protect ecosystems, are now cleaning restrooms. And what are visitor numbers doing while all of this is happening? Going up. National parks welcomed over 325 million visits in 2023, an increase of 13 million from 2022 / Staffing is down 20% since 2010, while visitation increased by 16%. More visitors, fewer rangers, and the vandals have phones. And here is where I am going to lose it.
Let me describe what Instagram tourism actually is, at its worst. It is treating a 200 million-year-old natural wonder as a prop. It is flying to Yellowstone, not to experience it, not to understand it, not to sit quietly with something older and larger than you can comprehend, but to manufacture a moment that performs well in a feed algorithm. To be the person who did the thing, to get the photo that makes your followers believe your life is more interesting than theirs. Researchers have described Instagram tourism as a superficial consumption of, rather than sincere interest in, a place. People coming to get a photo of the photos they've seen. A photo of the photos they've seen. That's it. That's the whole transaction. And in service of that transaction, people are carving their names into cliff faces. They're hitting golf balls into the Grand Canyon. They're crossing safety barriers at active volcanoes. They're removing rocks that took millions of years to form and throwing them in their luggage. And when they get caught, misdemeanor vandalism in a national park carries up to 6 months in jail, fines up to $5,000, and mandatory restitution. Up to. Because what actually happens is a $285 fine and 3 violations, while 7 million people watch the video, and the content stays up. Because here's the thing nobody in this conversation wants to say directly. The platforms benefit from this content. The more outrageous the stunt, the more engagement it generates. A golf ball into the Grand Canyon is a great video by every metric an algorithm uses to evaluate content. It gets shares, it gets comments, it gets new followers. The platform makes money, the influencer builds their brand, and the canyon gets a golf ball lodged somewhere 200 million years of geology never anticipated. And now we've simultaneously decided to cut the ranger force nearly in half. Proposed 2026 budget cuts would deplete National Park Service funding by roughly 20 to 25% at a moment when the parks are seeing record visitation and the behavior inside them is getting more brazen every year. A former ranger put it plainly, asking, do we see whole meadows that have been trampled? Lots of human noise instead of natural sounds? Does it become an urban experience when you go to a park? That question already has an answer in some places. These parks belong to everyone, not just the people alive right now who want content for their feeds. They belong to people who haven't been born yet. They belong to the ecosystems that exist inside them. They belong to the concept that some things are more important than your follower count. A golf ball in the Grand Canyon gets 7 million views and a $285 fine. The canyon is still 200 million years old, but it's a little more broken than it was yesterday. And tomorrow, someone else is already planning the shot.
Like and subscribe to find out who makes the otter angry next.
All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The angry otter is not a licensed park ranger, geologist, or content moderator. The otter has visited national parks and did not remove anything, carve anything, or hit anything with a golf club. Side effects of this video include outrage, a sudden urge to actually read the trail signs, and an uncontrollable urge to subscribe.